exactly what's going to happen. Um, I don't know if YouTube's having trouble this morning, but apparently they are, and or apparently I am, or something. I don't know. I cannot totally figure it out. That looks more like what I'm supposed to be seeing. So hopefully everybody can see me. Sorry for the technical difficulties. This is one of the reasons why we're switching uh, uh, phone services, because we've been noticing a little bit of an issue with Cricket, and having difficulty with their service, especially in the area we're at. So hopefully that will improve, um, and we won't have a problem. I'm hoping that that's the case. Now I think I can see me. It'll be a short live this morning, a short connection, but it will be hopefully something that we can be able to participate in, and at least a little bit of connection, right? Participate in that. Thank you for everybody last night for showing on up and participating within the conversation last night about being discouraged. I think we all go through a time in our lives where we're discouraged and we're kind of having to press through. But I think that if we have community when we're going through those times of discouragement, we can be so much better. We can be so much better together than we can. Hi, Mark. Awesome. It happened to be the first time I went on, it looked like it was just still waiting for me. And then the second time around, it just kept doing that loop de loop. So, buffering. So, hopefully, with the new phones and the new service and everything, those will cease to exist. I'm hoping, because it gets a little frustrating to have to deal with that for you all and for us. It's like, well, am I live? Is it working? But I just really think that if we're having times of discouragement, let's not keep them silent. I think the worst thing we can do is keep it silent. And I learned that through last night and through, even the night before. Speak up when you're getting discouraged, and say something to a friend, and be able to talk through it. And I love the idea. I absolutely loved in the suggestions that we did with our live stream like last night. Hi, Chronic, how are you? Hopefully I said that right. Or Chrono, hopefully. One of the two, right? I should take one. Now it's working. Now I've got it working, right? It's a very hazy day here in Ohio. Can you not see? It's got a little bit of a haze to it this morning. Beautiful, not hardly a cloud in the sky, but it is beautiful. But I love the idea within the suggestions when we talked about those 21 tips of handling discouragement. I love the idea of, thank you very much, of doing an encouragement file. I absolutely love that, because if you have notes, right, of, people have written handwritten notes. Hi, Sandy. And we've lost, I think, the art of writing handwritten notes anymore. I think it's a lost art. But if you can write a handwritten note, send it to somebody, and start an encouragement file if you have that. If you're someone that um, has YouTube and people are sending emails. Hi, Jasmine. How are you? Welcome on in. I love the idea of starting a encouragement file on your phone. Hi, Mick. How are you? Mickey's Adventures. How are you? I just think that that's awesome to be able to do in your email. Start a little file that says encouragement file. I am actually going to do that, because I do have some people that have sent me emails just to let me know how much this channel means to them, and I start that. And I love the idea of people like High Ainfield, people, being able to go back to those things when you're in a moment of discouragement and say, hey, what I'm doing is really good. I just remembered, and I thought about that, and I thought, that time in my life when I was raising money for Christina's service dog, there was a lot of times I was discouraged. It was, and then at times I'll never forget. I think it was a time of probably discouragement. We're never going to reach that goal of what we need, which was $15,000 for her service dog. And I think I was in a moment of that. And sure enough, sitting at my door was a coffee can and a note from our neighbor. And she had just saved over the time period coins, and she just wanted to put that by my door at our house. And so, hi, Match. How are you, Sophia? It's been a long time. Um, I hope you're doing well, hon. Uh, but she put that, the coffee can with the coins, and I just remember going uplifting as I'm sitting there counting every penny and every dime and thinking, okay, this is possible. I can do this. There's times in our lives where we may be doing something that we need to change course, or we need to say this isn't working. But there's times where we have to say, you know what? I'm going to stay on this path. I'm going to stay on this journey no matter what. And I can tell you throughout this journey of being on YouTube and starting a channel and being, I guess, not enough to start a new channel, right? Um, Starting another channel on top of what we're doing, right? Um, I, Sandy says hi. Mom says hi back. Um, there has been times where I've learned how to persevere. And thankfully, I am so thankful that I can look back and say, I had a learning disability. I had to struggle with in school. And I was, I'm thankful I did, because my teachers would say to me, to my mom, Mary can never take a vacation. There's kids that have really good grades. If they need to kind of take a break from what they're doing and take a little mental vacation for a couple of days, they can, and then they kind of get back on track. Mary never can do that. She has to be here. She has to be, involved. She has to keep pressing forward. And they always said she's very persistent. And I am so thankful that if that was a skill I gained or whether I had it naturally, my dad was also persistent as well. But I think that if that was a skill I learned in school, it was a worthy skill, because it has really served me in my entire life. Now, I didn't talk about it last night, but I remember that there was a time I was in ninth grade, towards the end of my ninth grade, and this is where in my life was one of those things that I had to. It's not over till it's over. Giving up is a waste of energy. I love that, and absolutely, I'm not giving up. No, no way, no how. Um, but I remember, going to her in towards kind of the middle, towards the end of ninth grade, saying, "Mom, I don't care how, where. I don't care if you homeschool me. I don't care if you put me. So I don't care where you stick me, but I am not going back to school. I'm just not going back." And I had spent many years. I had spent time in our previous school I was in for many years getting bullied, and then I went to a new school. And look at the hay bales coming up. You're in the country when you can see all the hay bear bill. Hay bales. Thank you. I haven't had the coffee yet, guys. On the fields. You're in the country when you be able to see that, right? Um, and I remember going to her and saying, "You just got to get me out of here," because I went to a new school hoping for a new, fresh start. And unfortunately, persistence is a trait I admire. Hopefully, going for a new start, and yet I was going for a new start, and I was getting teased there, and I was getting bullied there, and I had reached my breaking point where I was just like, I'm done. I can't take it anymore. And I literally went to my mother and I said, I'm getting out of this one way or another. I said, I'm not going back to that school. I'm not going back to high school. And I'm thinking to myself, those kids had no idea what they were doing. Um, I lost out on being able to finish high school, maybe make some really wonderful friends through that experience, being able to go to homecoming, being able to go to prom. I lost all that because some kids wanted to be, were hurting, and so they were hurting enough to hurt somebody else. They were going through stuff, so they decided, listen, I want to be big and bad and so forth and be bullies. And that was really difficult. I'm really glad that I pivoted and I went to an alternative, and I went to a GED place with two wonderful ladies that were there. And that was my refuge. That's, I think, where I kind of decompressed from several years of really difficult times through school. I don't know if I'd have made it, but I knew enough where I was like, I can't do this anymore. And my mom knew enough to realize, hey, she's done. And I applaud her for not trying to me. You're going back to school. We're just going to get through this. It'll be fine. Here's the corn, guys. And you're going to just press through. You're going to do it. She knew enough to say, she's done, and I need to listen. She just can't handle this anymore. And I really am very thankful that she did. So we need to be encouragements for each other. I love the encouragement file. If you didn't go listen to it live last night, listen to those tips or read the article, do that if you're in a moment of discouragement. But we're a community here, we're a family here, and that's what we're building here at Blessed to Crochet and Blessings Through Connection. We're at church. It's a short live today because, technology just wasn't being technology. Bullies are the worst. I went through. Yep, absolutely. So remember, be proud of being yourself. Everyone else is taken. That connection, no crochet hook is required. And we have you covered. Thank you guys so much for having us covered. And remember, today is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad it is. Talk to you all later. Have a great day and encourage each other. That's what we're here for. Go check out our community posts. We have some great channels over there. And for you guys to connect with more community over there. And don't forget about the daily community post that we put up for both Blessings Through Connection and Blessed to Crochet in the community hub. You guys can encourage each other there and also connect with each other in those posts. So go over, make a comment, make a connection. I dropped the link for Blessed to Crochet or Blessings Through Connection if you haven't connected over there yet too. And we'll see y'all later. Love each and every one of you. Bye, everybody.